Hello, welcome to Doyce's Choices. I am Benjamin Doyce. This is my new channel dedicated to counting down whatever the hell I want. For my first video, I thought instead of just, telling you who I am, boring introduction, I would just give you a list of 10 of my favorite television show characters that sort of give you a sense of who I am. So, don't touch that remote control. Touchscreen mouse? Just here they are. Coming in at number 10, Buffy Summers, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Why? She was strong, she was cool, she kicked ass, she fought vampires in the 90s before vampires were cool. And she had to deal with all the same crap that we were dealing with in high school. I was a high schooler at the time. There's always something so accessible about that, even though she was fighting with superhuman strength and killing demons. She was in high school and in college and fighting with her friends and dealing with the death of her mom. That was probably like the most emotional episode ever. But yeah, just Buffy Summers was strong and badass, so why not let her start off this list at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have Bugs Bunny, the one and only cartoon rabbit. He's so smart, he always wins, always outsmarts Elmer Fudd, Daffy Duck, and anyone else he's put up against. And he was so cool the way that he was just leaning up against a tree, cracking that carrot, and just outsmarting everyone all the time. And as a kid, that was great. Like, just Bugs Bunny. That's all I needed. Put it on the TV. I'm in. Let's move on. Okay, coming in at number 8 now, we have a Mr. Bates from Downton Abbey. John Bates, or just Bates, as a lot of them call him. If you're not familiar with the show, it takes place in the early 1900s in England. Very large class differentials, serving class, high class, upper class, whatever. Lots of drama, high drama, but Bates is sort of who you come into this world with in the first episode, and he just embodies just being a stand-up guy, honest, and just never going to undercut anyone, even if it helps him out. That's like, at some point you're just yelling at him, just do it! He's done so many bad things to you, Mr. Bates, why don't you just get him back? And he won't do it. Which I hate him at the time, but in the grand scheme, I respect it. It's just unwavering, noble, great Mr. Bates. At number 7, let's go out to Bel Air. We find Uncle Phil, played by the late great James Avery, on The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Of course, he was Will Smith's uncle, who got in one little fight and his mom got scared and sent him to go live with Uncle Phil, who turned out to be a great father figure for Will, of course, and just a whole lot of fun on that show. And it was just, sometimes it's just incredibly scary, yelling at Will and Carlton, like he was gonna rip him into pieces, and he was so big and just powerful in his voice. It was scary, even to me, but then he could just be so tender and caring for Will. It was, man, I didn't know that I felt that emotion then, but it was good stuff. And so Uncle Phil comes in at number 7. Okay, so this is the part of my list where I kind of start to cheat a little bit. I'm gonna go with Batman, right? Okay, so from Batman the Animated Series specifically, although it rolls over into Batman Beyond, so I'm going with Bruce Wayne and Terry McGinnis, who is the young Batman in Batman Beyond. Both of those shows I watched religiously as a kid. Saturday morning, I had to get up and see them. Had to watch Batman. Had to watch Batman Beyond especially. I remember that because it's a little newer. And I was kind of starting to come into middle school, high school, and Terry McGinnis was more relatable to me. I mean, instead you have Batman, Bruce Wayne, the stoic, just Dark Knight, father figure kind of guy, which was cool. And then Terry McGinnis came along, and he kind of just flew by the seat of his bat pants, right? You know? Yeah? No? Okay. Anyway, he just went with instinct rather than calculated planning like Bruce usually did, which was very appealing to me at the time. Terry McGinnis was just cool. He was a cool kid. He just like bullies picked on him. No, he just didn't put up with that. He was kind of an outcast because he did his own thing. He was his own person. And I think that kind of gave me a little bit of inspiration to be my own person. That's a little cheesy, but hey, whatever. Find what you can. So we got Bruce Wayne, Terry McGinnis as Batman. Okay, like I said, I'm still cheating here on this list. So this is 2 characters, 1 show. I'm going Philip J. Fry, Taranga Leela, Fry and Leela from Futurama. 2 of my favorite characters on the cartoon. They're great. Fry, kind of a buffoon, but like a lot of the characters on this list, he's very honest. He's very true to himself, even if he's eating an old egg salad sandwich out of a gas station bathroom vending machine. Yeah. So he can do that, but then he can also have moments where he changes the actual stars and writes out, "I love you, Leela." And although she never saw it, of course, it's kind of even more relatable, the fact that he's very true to himself and honest, but it never works out for him, even though he's doing the right thing. Although, in the long run of the show Futurama, that is probably the most consistent part, is their relationship. Leela, also a great character, a good play on that independent, strong character, strong woman, but she's also kind of clumsy and just doesn't do the right thing all the time, which is great, because who does? I don't. No one does. Even if you're an awesome space captain. But their relationship, to me, is one character on this list, because I just love the way that they balance each other out, and how the show, even after all the unjust cancellations and TV movies and jumbled continuity, even at the very end, it's still about their relationship, because of they get stuck in a time loop and they live out their entire life, just those 2. And it always gets me. Leela returns and she tells him, "I was never lonely, not for 1 minute." So, let that sink in. Okay, so this is the last time that I'm cheating, I promise. We got 2 characters, 1 show, 1 relationship that I think kind of is the whole point of the show, at least a major point of it. And so we got Fox Mulder, Dana Scully, Scully and Mulder and Scully from the X-Files. And you got Mulder, who is the ever true believer. He wants to believe, as they say. He had some experience when he was young. He saw his sister abducted, and ever since then he's been on the search for the truth. Dana Scully, everything must be proven scientifically. Everything has a reason for happening. There's a scientific fact behind it. Nothing happened without following the rules of the universe in her world. And no matter how many times Mulder proves to her that there are weird things going on, at the beginning of every episode she seems to have just completely forgotten about that. And just like, "Mulder, you're crazy. This new theory of yours, how could it possibly be an alien? We've never seen those before, right?" Right. Okay, we've made it to the top 3, where these 3 are probably in order. The rest of this list has not really been in an order of my exact favorites. These might be. So number 3, we have Captain Catherine Janeway, USS Voyager, from Star Trek Voyager. Why? She, like a lot of people on this list, strong, badass, unintimidated by threats, no matter how big and powerful the person they come from. Whoever threatens Captain Janeway usually does not come out good on the other side. Let's just say it like it is. She was the first female Star Trek captain. I grew up watching it every week with my parents. It was a tradition, so it was just part of me. Captain Janeway. I think I drink black coffee, probably partly because of her, and that's all she ever, I just thought that was she's an awesome captain. She drinks black coffee. She's stranded across the galaxy. I should drink black coffee because it's cool and awesome. And so I do. There's coffee in that nebula. Okay, coming in number 2, Hank Hill from King of the Hill. Another honest, straightforward character who is always true to himself. He's always just gonna be himself no matter what, even if it's a situation that's screaming to be different or conform. He's just gonna be Hank, and that is something that's what I love about him. He's always Hank. He sticks to his guns. He doesn't waver, no matter how hard the culture is telling him to, even if he's wrong. and I respect that about him. He's honest, just in all sense of the word, and he fights these culture wars on the show that we can all relate to. As slightly, if you're a little older, maybe like myself, you have an episode where he doesn't understand social media being brought into the workplace and how it helps in any way at all. How it's not just a stupid distraction. What virtual friends are not friends? What are you talking about? And not now. I'm really starting to understand these hard adjustments to the time that Hank is dealing with in his show. It's these kids, those darn kids, as Hank always says. It's really, I say that a lot now, and it's sad, but I love it, and I love Hank. Okay, number 1. There is never going to be anyone else atop this list except for George Louis Costanza, aka Art Vandelay. As much as all the other characters on this list define things that make me better, or what I find good about myself, or taught me things, George simply defines me as me in the most relatable way, and that's always been what I latched onto about George. Look, I'm not going to eat an eclair out of the trash, or push women and children out of the way to get free from a fire. But a lot of the things that I like about George are not exactly ideal. He represents the selfish asshole inside all of us that's always there. We may hide it deep down, some of us better than others, but the want yourself, things for yourself to be better, and it feels like everything is just always piling on you, and that's George. I mean, scanning for unemployment is bad, but hell, I would do it if I could get away with it. There's a voice inside me that says, if you need to do it, you should probably do it. George got away with it, you know? But George Costanza, my all-time favorite character, he represents the loser, the insecurity inside of me, maybe inside all of us. I'll just say me, because that's what I see, and that's what I like about it, and just the little things he hates about everyone else that add up and just drive him insane. I mean, I'm disturbed, I'm depressed, I'm inadequate, I got it all. So, there you have it. 10 characters who kind of give you a sense of who I am, for better or for worse. Do me a favor, click like on this video, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. In fact, leave a comment and tell me if there are other countdowns you want me to do, if you enjoyed my take on these characters and want to see other lists of just anything. It doesn't have to be characters, it can be my favorite types of trees to climb when I was a kid. That actually sounds like a lot of fun. I'll see you next time. This has been Doyce's Choices. I'm Benjamin Doyce. See ya.